You're watching ESPN's Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers. This is the SEC on ESPN. And we welcome you to Tuscaloosa for a big-time matchup to kick off conference play here in the SEC. It'll be the Tide and the Cats here at Coleman Coliseum. Two teams with big aspirations this year. Coach Saban in the house, exchanging pleasantries with Coach Oates. And the fans are ready to go here at Coleman. Hi, everybody, and welcome inside Coleman Coliseum. Dan Shulman, Jay Villas. Happy New Year to everybody out there. Alabama, Jay, always so much fun to watch. They get it up and down. They shoot the three ball.
They play at a breakneck pace. They're averaging 94 points a game, 13 threes a game. That's fourth in the country, leads the Southeastern Conference, but they get them off driving. You really have to keep them out of the paint. And LeBaron Philon is having a great year. He's basically doubled his numbers from last year to this year.
They are 10-3. Kentucky comes in 9-4. The Wildcats, without question, Jay, have had some highs and lows in the non-conference part of the season.
No question. And Kentucky's going to have to do a great job defensively in this game, and that's where they have to draw the line. They have to have the mindset to be an elite defensive team, but they're on a 4-game win streak. Otega Oweh starting to play his best basketball. They have their full roster available, but they're going to get challenged.
I'll tell you what, they got the sound system turned up to 11 here inside Coleman. We are underway, and it'll be the Wildcats in visiting blue with the first possession. What a way to kick off SEC play.
Alabama going with a small lineup. Latrell Wrightsell guarding Mo Diabate, the former Crimson Tide player last year that was so difficult for Kentucky to deal with.
Which is why he is getting booed, as you can hear, every time that he touches the ball. Denzel Aberdeen launches a three, a little bit strong. Diabate runs it down.
And that's the difficulty Alabama's been facing, is defensive rebounding.
And Aberdeen with a great job stopping on 2 feet. And already we've got a little subplot here, Jay, as Aiden Sherrill has picked up his first foul from Alabama. They need his size and his rim protection out there on the floor.
Aiden Sherrill may be the best shot blocker in the country. He's averaging about 3 blocks per game. He had 7 blocks total last season. And this year he's blocked 8 shots in a game twice.
And Nate Oates has Keaton Bristow coming in, and it is Aiden Sherrill coming out. So 37 seconds into this game, about the last thing that Nate Oates wanted to see is a foul on his big man.
And he's getting him out just so he doesn't pick up another quick one. But he'll be back in soon.
Aberdeen, the former Florida Gator, makes them both. And now Alabama's first possession. LeBaron Philon Jr., who did not play in Alabama's last game, is back in there, and it's a quick turnover on Alabama as that ball came up and hit Aiden Holloway in the face. It bounced out of bounds, and he is pleading his case with one of the officials, but it is a turnover.
A little 1-2-2 3/4 court pressure by Kentucky. They do that to slow the advance, also to force turnovers, but Alabama has to be smart and beat that pressure to score.
Both of these teams deep have used a lot of players, but both of them have dealt with a lot of injuries. Colin Chandler, that's his 25th made three of the season. He leads Kentucky in that category. Generally, as a team, Alabama shoots many more threes and makes them at a higher rate than the Wildcats do. Strong drive and a finish for a very impressive-looking freshman, Amari Allen out of Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Amari Allen playing the 4 in this game in a smaller lineup, but he's guarding Otega Oweh to give a little more size on Oweh.
He's got a lot of great perimeter skills, but he is also their leading rebounder on the season at better than 7 a game. Diabate is going to hear it all afternoon.
Boy, good help by Aiden Holloway in recovery.
Aberdeen has to force up a tough one from the baseline.
Alabama's going to have to gang rebound. All 5 guys in white have to get to the defensive glass.
Philon puts the brakes on, finds Allen. Here's a three, and it goes.
Allen was a little late getting there, but playing behind a drive is going to be key for Alabama. The cutter relocates right behind the drive so that the the driver can kick it back out.
Alabama top 3 in the nation in both threes attempted and made. Nate Oates, if it's not right at the rim, he wants it outside the arc.
Really smart cut by Amari Allen to get behind the driver and create that lane for the easy shot.
How about the job that Oates has done his 7th season here at Alabama, a Final Four 2 years ago, Elite 8 last year, a couple of regular season SEC titles. Philon wide open. Latrell Wrightsell Jr. misses the 3. Marino couldn't squeeze the rebound, and it gives the Tide another chance. Holloway has his pocket picked. He thought he was fouled.
Kentucky's got to get the ball inside. That's where their strength is in this game.
Diabate spins back to his strong side, but can't finish.
Alabama is just converging on the ball, even though they're smaller. All 5 guys are pursuing the basketball, both defensively to try to be defensive playmakers, but also on the glass, which is a must for the Crimson Tide. They've got to get on the glass.
And there are the numbers for Nate Oates. We talked about him a moment ago. Here is a huge key, not only in this game, but in the season for Kentucky. Jaden Quaintance, the transfer from Arizona State, missed the first 11 games of the year, recovering from a torn ACL that he suffered last year. He can be a game changer, Jay, at the defensive end of the floor.
Shot blocker, outstanding rebounder, offensive rebounder, and finisher, just not a shooter.
I tell you, they don't make 18-year-olds like they used to. I mean, he looks every bit of that and then some. He looks like a grown man out there. He is strong and agile and comes down with his first rebound.
Looks like 2 grown men.
Chandler had that shot altered by Allen, and Allen's got it.
Allen did a great job of staying in front to stop the drive and then build that wall to make Chandler shoot over.
Philon behind the back, snakes his way through a couple of defenders and lays it in with the left.
We talk about, Dan, Alabama's three-point shooting, but it's all set up by their driving. They're a slot driving team. They force help, and then they kick it out and swing it. They're very difficult to guard.
Philon leading the SEC in scoring at almost 22 points per game. What a dynamic combination in the backcourt with Philon and Holloway as Aiden Holloway lays it in.
Boy, Holloway, the transfer from Auburn, has a lot in that bag. What a handler.
And after getting out to an early 5-0 lead, it's now a 9-0 run for the Tide.
A great pressure by Holloway on Chandler.
They had a shot clock issue. One of the officials, Lucas Santos, saw it. He'll blow the whistle, and we'll go to immediate timeout with Alabama now on top. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Kay, the official partner of couples who love the game.
start of conference play. A chance to do some New Year's resolutions for both coaches. We'll start with Alabama, and it's what Jay has been saying. Nate Oates wanting more out of the defensive rebounding. He said, I know we're going to give up some because of our size, but the frustrating part has been in the communication and the defensive breakdowns. And for Mark Pope in Kentucky, it's to be more grittier. This team finally healthy. Feels like there's an extra layer of toughness that he's excited for his guys to show in SEC play.
Chris, thank you. Happy New Year to you. Boy, if you're going to get toughness, conference play is when you want to start showing it. The SEC may not be on its way to the historic season that it had last year, Jay, but it is still a very good and very deep league.
It is an outstanding conference, and I think a number of the teams in the Southeastern Conference, Alabama is one of them, have played tough schedules, and I think Alabama's better than its record.
There is no shame in the losses for the Crimson Tide so far this year. Purdue, Gonzaga, and Arizona. Those are three of the best teams in the country.
Kentucky's had some really difficult shots in this game, and credit to Alabama's defense. They're making them take tough mid-range shots and shots around the rim. Everything has been contested for Kentucky.
Allen is fouled by Brandon Garrison, who checked in at the timeout. Again, both Mark Pope and Nate Oates have deep teams, and it still feels like, because of injuries and other factors, Jay, like both coaches are still kind of solidifying their rotations.
No question. And with Jalen Lowe healthy now, turnover for Alabama.
Oweh the foul, and count the basket.
And that's exactly the kind of turnover that Nate Oates was talking to his team yesterday. A turnover for a touchdown, a pick six. You cannot defend that. It's one thing to throw the ball out of bounds, but that's just a weak pass that was made out of bounds to LeBaron Philon. And now you have a continuation, an extra step after the foul, even though that was 2 steps. I thought that was on the floor.
So Oweh will go to the line to try to complete the three-point play. He is the leading scorer for Kentucky, better than 14 a game. He's been in double figures in every game this year and in 46 of his 49 games as a Kentucky Wildcat.
Now with Jalen Lowe on the floor for Kentucky, I think Kentucky's offense runs better with Lowe on the floor. He's been out with that shoulder. Good screen.
Houston Millett hits the three.
So many shooters that can spread out this Kentucky defense, especially against these two bigs. They have to guard out on the perimeter, communicate, and it's really tough for them to switch.
At any point, Alabama can go off for 15 or more threes as Kentucky gets back within 2. If you're trying to defend Alabama's threes, how do you do that?
Well, first you have to stop penetration like this, because that's kicked out for a 3.
Reitzel short. What a rebound by Allen. Back to Reitzel, and what a block by Garrison. Shot clock never reset. Inside 10. Holloway. Count it.
That's just beautiful action. Holloway went like he was going to set a screen and then just faded, got a fade screen off of it. Ghosted right out and got the fade.
And a great vibe here at Coleman. Not all of the students are back yet, but this place is alive. The 3 won't go for Cam Williams, who's coming off a game in which he made 8 threes against Bellarmine back on December the 23rd.
Boy, that was a big-time defensive rebound by Amari Allen.
Holloway driving and will head to the line.
Now, Alabama's taking advantage of Kentucky's communication on screening. Millett just ghosts out of that ball screen and gets a fade screen from Aiden Sherrill. He wasn't wide open, but he could get his feet set. Similar play for Holloway on the other side of the floor. And Kentucky is giving up some open looks on that ghost fade. You got to communicate, especially the guy setting the fade screen.
And here is Holloway at the line for Alabama, coming off a very impressive game against Yale a few days ago. 5 threes, 26 points. That was the game in which they were without Philon, and Holloway really stepped up into that lead role and flourished.
Aiden Holloway is as gifted a scorer as you're going to find in the country. He is tough to guard in space, and he really hunts shots, and especially off pick and rolls.
He'll sit. Philon returns.
I can't think of players that wouldn't want to play for Alabama where you come out of the game where you don't take an open shot. If you pass up an open shot, you're coming out.
Jalen Lowe, again, he's a lefty. It's that right shoulder he's got wrapped up. It's something he'll have to deal with all season long. A beautiful find into Jaden Quaintance.
And in traffic. Boy, Jaden Quaintance is huge.
Projected as a lottery pick. He went over to help, got up in the air, and Millette with good patience to lay it in.
Kentucky is giving up the lane way too easily.
And Alabama's the wrong team to have that sort of a problem against.
Well, that puts you into help and into rotation.
Aiden Sherrill, who has grown into one of the best shot blockers in the nation this year.
That was great mobility. Got off the floor quickly and timed it perfectly.
Spent the summer getting himself in much better condition. He's much more athletic, averaging almost 3 blocks per game.
So Jaden Quaintance is having to guard Latrell Wrightsell. That is not a good matchup.
Wrightsell can't get around him. Now will try again. Leans in, lays it off. Jemison has it blocked. Garrison got a piece of it, and it's a shot clock violation.
Alabama's forcing Kentucky to make so many decisions on the defensive end, and with a too big lineup, that puts these big guys out on the perimeter, having to switch and guard guards, take away the three, and then take away the drive. That's a lot to ask defensively.
One of the front court players for Alabama has not played yet, Taylor Bowen, who is nursing an ankle issue, and he is a maybe to play today. A 6'10" forward. Lowe misses the three. Sherrill hauls down the rebound.
Alabama going under on that screen. They're going to let Jalen Lowe take that shot.
Sherrill will take the three ball. A little bit strong here. And it's out of bounds to Kentucky. 11:44 to go. You know all about Alabama at the offensive end, but they've got themselves a rim protector this year. Jay at the defensive end.
Aiden Sherrill blocked 8 shots against Arizona, 8 against Maryland. Great timing and getting off the floor quickly.
Let's get you caught up on some SEC storylines. How about Vandy being the highest-ranked team in the conference in the AP poll, and the highest team at KenPom as well? They are unbeaten so far this year. The defending national champs have lost 4 times already, but don't sleep on the Gators too quick. Easily could have beaten Duke, and we're right there with UConn. And then Mike White's got himself a team that scores aplenty, 99 points per game to lead the nation. There are currently 6 ranked teams in the SEC. Again, still a great league, but not quite at the level that it was at a year ago. Your thoughts on the conference?
Well, the conference, I think, is outstanding. I think your point is right, though. Having a historic year like they did last year, it seems like it's a step down. And perhaps it is, but this is still a legit league.
Mo Diabate, again, will get booed every time he touches the ball. Transferred from Alabama, was a huge part of this program the last 2 years.
Got to bring that double quicker. He's going to try to get back to that left hand at every opportunity.
And at this end of the floor, he is a sensational defender. He's on Amari Allen right now. Cam Williams switches on to Allen. Reitzel with a shot fake, a drive, and a floater. That was beautiful.
You drive it into the paint, that collapses the defense, and then Allen kicks it out, and then all of a sudden you're attacking a closeout. This is a really difficult Alabama team to guard.
And Reitzel not putting up quite the numbers that Philon and Holloway are, not shooting it great, but he could be a very potent offensive player as well.
Well, Reitzel's coming off an Achilles injury, and he's a good shooter. He hasn't shot it great yet, but I think he will. He's a career 38% three-point shooter.
The answer at the other end came from Jalen Lowe to get the Cats back within 5. Alabama has won 3 in a row in this rivalry, all of them last season. They have never defeated Kentucky 4 times in a row. Here's a bucket by Reitzel as we send it to Chris.
It's just a year ago that he suffered that Achilles injury, and as soon as it happened, his mom came down to Tuscaloosa, moved in with him for 6 months to help him through the recovery process. When I talked to her before the game, she was in tears talking about it, because she said it wasn't just because of the physical things that my son needed, the mental part of the game, because of what he needed. There were times where he thought that he might give up basketball. A joy, she says, to watch him on the floor now.
Chris, thank you. That's a tough injury, so great to see him back out there and a big part of this Alabama team. We got a timeout on the floor. The Tide up by 5. We're back in 30. So the reason for the timeout is Alabama. Coach Nate Oates has asked for an appeal for a possible hook and hold on Kentucky. This is different than a challenge for out of bounds or restricted circle or anything like that. And right there, it's Lowe raising that arm to kind of make it look like Bristow fouled him. I don't think that reaches the level of a hook and a hold. That's a hook.
That is not a hook and hold.
No, that's a hook, but there's no hold.
I don't know whether Nate Oates called the timeout, because I think he's saying, look, this is happening on the other end of the floor. And he probably knows he's not going to get the appeal on this, because they would have to call it a flagrant 1. He might just be trying to make a point.
Right.
But come on now, that's not a foul.
And he will lose a timeout if he does not win the appeal. Again, appeals and challenges are different, but you do need a timeout to initiate each of it. Right now, the call on the floor is a personal foul on Keaton Bristow of Alabama.
And I think that remains. Like, there's just no way that could be upgraded to a flagrant 1.
And we have seen a couple of these in the games that you and I have done this year, where the personal has been taken away and a player on the opposing team has been assessed a flagrant 1 for hook and hold. But
the appeal is unsuccessful. Alabama will be charged with a timeout.
The review is unsuccessful, so the personal foul remains, and Alabama loses a timeout. And Nate Oates still pleading his case with Joe Lindsey, one of the officials, but it did not go Alabama's way. And it is something that you see offensive players doing a fair bit from time to time. But again, compared to some other ones that we have seen appeal, Joe, that one did not reach the physical level of some of the other ones.
And honestly, it wasn't even close. Yeah. But you're right. You do see that more often. It's kind of like the James Harden move in the NBA of going into a player's arm, usually on a shot. That was just on a hedge.
Low to Owe, and he is fouled. You know, you think about Kentucky, and they have dealt with injuries too, just like Alabama. Having Jalen Lowe on the floor, having Jaden Quaintance back and healthy, I think that Mark Pope would feel the same way Nate Oates does, that hopefully the ceiling is high and there's a lot of growth for this team. A great cut by Owe, but it looked like he lost it on the way up.
Lost it with the left hand.
Boy, having Jalen Lowe out there just changes their look at the offensive end.
Well, it gives you a legit handler passer.
Bristow the kick. Reitzel's open. Buries it.
Well, your natural inclination as a help defender is to help on the ball. And you help off these three-point shooters. Alabama adept at looking out to the three-point line and finding them. That was a big-time pass and play.
Off the hands of Lowe and out of bounds to the Tide.
Watch how Kentucky, when the ball winds up inside to Bristow, he draws two defenders. You got a cutter and then a wide open shooter, Latrell Reitzel, out in the left corner. Just beautifully done by Alabama.
A lot of hockey assists on this Alabama team, don't you think?
Yes.
Allen swings it. Jemison in the corner. And the rebound down to Aberdeen. He'll dribble it up, pull up for three. And Diabate is fouled underneath. Well, we've got more men's college basketball coverage coming your way tomorrow on ESPN2. It begins at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Tulane hosting Florida Atlantic, and then it'll be Bradley and Murray State at 5 Eastern. And we just, Jay, had simultaneous substitutions. Quaintance came in for Kentucky. Sherrell returned for Alabama. Not a coincidence, right?
Yeah, outside of foul trouble, you're going to see Sherrell on the floor anytime that Jaden Quaintance is on the floor.
And this one going against Kentucky.
Not sure where they got Aberdeen just trying to take Jalil Bethea right into the baseline. Just ran him over.
And it is Aberdeen, his first. Fourth on Kentucky. Alabama's got 5. 8-point lead past the midway point of the first half. Holloway. Now Bethea. He'll put up a three. Comes up empty, and it's back over to the Wildcats.
Even though Alabama likes to take threes, they don't want to take a three like that.
And that's what Nate Oates just told Bethea as he took him out of the game. He is back on the bench after that shot, and Amari Allen is back in. Nate Oates loves the three ball, but he didn't love that one.
Well, they like open threes, and that was a challenge three against a set defense.
Away, some size on him in Allen. Diabate the kick. Lowe rises up for a three. And what a rebound by Sherrell. Boy, Holloway's got a handle, doesn't he? 1 year at Auburn.
Jets. He can get by you.
Like that. Somehow found Sherrell. Millette for three. Got another one. And Alabama's got a double-digit lead.
Well, you're trying to keep Sherrell from getting a layup, and you wind up giving up an open three. That's Alabama basketball right there.
Biggest lead of the game for the Tide. Quaintance the ball screen to try to free up Lowe. Shot clock at 6. Lowe into the paint, blocked from behind. And Sherrell came down with it briefly, but it's out of bounds to Kentucky to take us to the under 8 media timeout. Kentucky having trouble scoring, and Alabama's got 5 threes and 12 attempts already in this one.
The Tide may be smaller in some of these lineups, but they are playing bigger. Great pass out by Sherrell to Millette.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at who is in the zone. Brought to you by AutoZone. And when you're doing an Alabama game, Jay, as always, you got to talk about the three.
Well, this is a prolific three-point shooting team, and they get them in a variety of ways. Most often, it's off of dribble penetration, getting into the lane, collapsing the defense, then kicking it back out. But off offensive rebounds in transition, 54% of Alabama's shot attempts on the season have been from three-point range, 32% at the rim. With my math, that's 86% of their overall shots have either been at the rim or from three.
That's where Nate Oates wants the shots to come from, either right at the rim or beyond the arc. They attempt about 36 threes per game. They make about 13 per game. In their last game on December the 29th, they made 22 threes in a win over Yale. They beat them 102-78. A lob in for Quaintance with the shot clock expiring, and they cannot get one up on the rim, and that'll be a UK turnover.
Yeah, during the media timeout, the officials went back and looked at the clock, and the ball went out of bounds with .3, so Kentucky had a chance for a controlled tip, and that was it.
The lob, Sherrill, it goes and one.
Alabama runs a lot of this action, a middle pick and roll, with two shooters on one side, one shooter on the other, and that opens up the middle for Aiden Sherrill. You help off what Jaden Quaintance did on the drive, and that opens up the lob to Aiden Sherrill. And that's a heck of a finish over the top of an outstanding defender who made a great recovery.
The assist went to LeBaron Philon, who not only is the leading scorer in the SEC, but he is fourth in the conference in assists at 5.5 per game.
And one of the best steals guys in the conference and in the country.
Chris.
Kentucky, during that last timeout, a lot of the focus was on offense. They said, look at what Alabama's doing with their ball movement and pacing and able to find open shots. They said ours is just a bit more stagnant, standing around. Try and get that pace up.
Lowe using a ball screen and knocks down a much-needed three for the Wildcats.
Holloway looked to go underneath and then got caught, had to go over the top.
Philon on the drive, stops on a dime, got Chandler in the air. Good recovery defensively. Boy, they are moving the ball nicely. Sherrill's three around and out. Rebound Diabate.
Boy, and Amari Allen looked like he tweaked an ankle.
And Joe Lindsey immediately blows the whistle. We have mentioned that both of these teams have dealt with a lot of injuries this year. There has not been a single game in which Nate Oates has had his full complement of players. And in the absence of others out with injuries, Amari Allen, a freshman from Green Bay, has played exceptionally well this season.
Well, he's their top rebounder, and he's really rebounded very well in this game. He goes after every ball, and he can be physical as well as a freshman.
And this place has gone silent. It's either right ankle or right foot as he is reaching down and showing Nate Oates and the training staff being helped to his feet. And hopefully this is nothing too serious for a guy who has been a big part of Alabama's success this year.
Well, these things, when sometimes you tweak it, it scares you more than anything at times. But it was encouraging that he was walking away without a pronounced limp. I think Mark Pope was like, wait a minute, why'd you blow the whistle on that? He wasn't in any danger. We had a 5-on-4. Give us a break.
30-19, Alabama leading the conference opener for both teams. A heavy slate of SEC action today. It'll be interesting to see how Georgia and Vanderbilt both do today. We talked about them earlier. They're both off to great starts. Georgia's home to Auburn today. That game's getting underway in about 20 minutes on the SEC network. And Vandy, about an hour and 20 minutes from now, is at South Carolina. That game's on ESPNU. A look at the preseason poll. Kentucky picked second, Alabama fourth, Florida up top. Vandy down at 11th. And again, they are undefeated so far. But obviously, Jay, as you well know, you get into conference play and everything gets a little bit tougher.
It gets a lot tougher. And that's going to be a real test for both Vanderbilt and Georgia, who haven't played the toughest of slates, but have performed at a really high level, both teams.
I'll tell you what'll be fun. Alabama is at Vandy Wednesday night, 9 Eastern, ESPN2. That'll be a fun game. London Jemison knocks down a three. The 6th of the game for the Tide.
That's his 13th three on the season, shoots about 40%. And Nate Oates is really high on London Jemison's shooting ability.
Jemison has been a little banged up as well recently. He didn't play against Yale because of a knee injury, but is getting some time today. Quaintance keeps it alive, but it comes down to Philon.
And Alabama's going to have to be even more resolute on the glass without Amari Allen in the game.
Philon left alone for a moment. Misses the three, and Lowe comes down for the rebound.
Well, every rebound is contested, and you have to be concerned about the long ones.
Shovel pass to Quaintance, and he's fouled by Reitzel.
That was a heck of a pass by Jalen Lowe. He really threaded a needle on that one.
And they do have other guys who can handle and pass. And now Aiden Sherrill looks like he's in some difficulty. The foul is on him. It's his second, and he also has gone to the bench, and obviously he's in some pain. And unfortunately for Alabama, the hits just keep on coming physically. They just cannot get everybody healthy at the same time.
And that makes Alabama a lot smaller. They're giving up some weight as well as a little bit of size.
Keaton Bristow is now the 5-man, 6'10", but just 205. A transfer from Tarleton State. Love, little push shot will go, and he is doing everything he can to keep the Cats in it.
Does a really good job off of ball screens. He doesn't just blast off it. He's very patient and finds openings.
Philon. And Quaintance is fouled by Bristow.
Well, you give Bristow credit for going after the ball, but he had his arm draped around Jaden Quaintance. That's just not a good foul.
It's the second on him as Sherrill getting worked on the bench, and Nate Oates is going to make another change and go to another big guy that he's got, a 7-footer. As Sherrill is now making his way off the bench back to the locker room. Noah Williamson, a 7-foot senior, a transfer from Bucknell, is into the game. Offensively, much more of a stretch big than he is a physical force down low.
He was Patriot League Player of the Year at Bucknell. He wasn't heavily recruited out of St. Thomas More. Grew up in Latvia. But I think he's got more that he can give.
Holloway steps behind the screen and hits a three. 7 for 17, the Tide from beyond the arc.
Chandler just can't give him that much space. He almost looked like he was going under that little screen and got caught on it.
Holloway, the first score into double figures in this one. He's got 10, averages almost 18 on the season. Good help there by Williamson. Lowe can't turn the corner. Spinning into traffic, no good. Alabama ball and a foul on Jalen Lowe.
An awful lot of dribbling for Kentucky. The ball isn't moving. And Alabama's defense, they have been going after the ball. They really rally to the ball to try to be defensive playmakers, to get steals, to get swipe at it. Now watch Chandler here. He just gets caught right underneath that screen by Reitzel. And that's way too much space to give an offensive player that's as accomplished as Aiden Holloway. Holloway's averaging almost 18 points a game. He's had 5 20-point games on the season.
And what a luxury for Nate Oates when Philon isn't in the game or missed a game with injury, that he's got a guy like Holloway who can step into that lead role, if you will. Between the two of them, they're averaging almost 40 points per game this year.
Boy, how about that hustle?
And a foul on Owe.
London Jemison was first to the floor on that play and saved a possession for Alabama. They're just playing harder. Alabama is playing harder than Kentucky right now.
7th team foul on Kentucky. So Holloway to the line for 1 and 1.
Holloway to shoot 1 and 1.
Tomorrow afternoon right here on ESPN, we have a women's college basketball triple header. At 1 Eastern, number 16, North Carolina hosts Stanford. Then it's Baylor at Iowa State. And finishing up the triple header, LSU and Vandy. Some great hoops all afternoon long tomorrow on ESPN.
You know, Dan, right now for Kentucky, you're looking at where the Wildcats going to generate some offense. So far, they haven't gotten really much at all in transition. They got that Otega-Oweh steal and one, but there's been very little in transition and very little in the half court. I think Alabama's done a really nice job of making this team play out of the half court.
Williamson with an offensive rebound. The crowd loving that here at Coleman.
Kentucky just getting out fought. That was fight.
And remember Chris's report earlier, what Mark Pope wanted for his New Year's resolution was more grit from his team. He may not be seeing it right now, and the Tide making him pay.
Off a free throw block out. Alabama generates a three. That's got to drive Mark Pope crazy.
Guys, well said. Thank you very much. Kentucky is getting beaten in a number of different areas already in this game. And Alabama, even with the injuries that they have sustained today, They've got a 19-point lead in this one. Jasper Johnson is into the game for Kentucky.
Let's take a look at the right side of the screen now. Jaden Quainton's trying to block out Noah Williamson, and he doesn't get into him when the shot went up. You got to go right into the legs of Noah Williamson. That led to this open three by Houston Mallette. And Mallette's got 11 points as well, in addition to Aiden Holloway. Mallette and Holloway 5 of 5 combined from the three-point line. And to Seth Greenberg's point, you know, those are the kind of plays. Look, every big guy has given up an offensive rebound basket off a free throw block out. It's not like it never happens. But it's just, that's a question of paying attention to the little details. Like, free throw blockouts are important.
You saw Amari Allen back on the bench for Alabama, as we have an offensive foul called on Philon. Chris has more on Allen.
And Dan, based on what I just saw, he's going to check in right now. He was sprinting out of the locker room, so if there was any concern about the injury to the foot, he looks ready to go. So
that is a very good sign. Right ankle or foot issue. He went to the locker room, back to the bench, back in the game. Aiden Sherrill, it appeared to be something in or around his right knee. We have not seen him again. He is back in the locker room.
And Joe Lindsay was kind enough, one of the officials, to come over and explain to us why he blew the whistle in transition, because he said he heard, oh, what play by Owe. Boy, just that little handoff, the middle opened up and right over Amari Allen. That was big time.
And Lindsay was telling us that Allen said he felt his ankle popped, and given the severity of that, the possible severity, given the language or the way that Allen phrased it, Joe Lindsay said, you know, when in doubt, player safety is always number one. And when he heard a player say that, he blew the whistle. But, you know, as you said, sometimes it can hurt more than the injury would suggest. It might go away quickly. Kentucky needs lots and lots and lots more of what they just got from Owe there.
Yeah, Owe, he's such a strong driver, especially, you know, you let him get to that right hand so easily. But that's been few and far between in the half court for Kentucky in this first half.
Holloway, in addition to everything else he is doing well this year, has been virtually flawless at the free throw line. He has missed one today, but has missed only 2 the entire season.
Well, that's a real luxury when you've got guards that knock down free throws at the end of games and close ones. It's got to make you feel a lot better about salting away a win.
The lead back to 19 with 3 minutes left in the first half. Jalen Lowe is on the bench. Owe can handle. Aberdeen, Johnson, they can all handle the ball and move it, but none of them is a true point guard. And Aberdeen dribbles into a held ball situation with the arrow, giving it back to the tie.
Aiden Holloway is smaller, but when Denzel Aberdeen spun, he had both hands ready to get the ball. Like, he's not swiping at it. He's going in there to grab it. Less likely to get a foul when you go to grab it as opposed to swiping at it.
1 year at Auburn. This is Holloway's second year here in Tuscaloosa. Williamson the handoff. Allen looking pretty good, looking like himself. Scoops it up with the left. Williamson another offensive rebound. Big minutes from Noah Williamson as Owe flies down to the other end and draws a foul.
That's Kentucky in transition, which the Wildcats have to show more of, but just great fight by Williamson. He did it off the free throw block out and then taking on 2 Kentucky defenders. Otega Owe, he's only averaging about 14 points a game. He scored more last year. He's coming off a 20-point game over St. John's. Then he had a double-double with 10 points and 10 assists. He also had 8 rebounds against Bellarmine. But he's such a physical right driver. Sometimes you try to give him some space and a little bit of a cushion because he's not a prolific three-point shooter, but that gives him momentum to the basket.
Missed a lot of time in the summer and in the preseason with a turf toe injury, so maybe still rounding into form as Cam Williams goes to the bench, and the booing is for the return of Mo Diabate.
What are basketball players doing on turf during the summer?
Should it be called court toe if you're a basketball player?
Yeah. Why do football players get all the good injuries?
Running some offense through their 5-man in Williamson. Bethea steps into a three. And the foul is called on Amari Allen, so Diabate will head to the free throw line for 2. And that is the second foul on Allen.
So difficult. These long shots by Alabama lead to long rebounds. And those long rebounds, sometimes it can be difficult to get a block out and go get the ball. That's why a guy, an offensive player that has a run-up, can have an advantage on a longer shot rebound.
You can see the Trader hard hat, so 2 parts to that story. The hard hat is something within the Alabama program where they prize things like deflections and steals, diving on the floor. Nate Oates gives out a hard hat award after every game. Trader is specific to Mo Diabate, who again was a big part of this team the last couple of years, but transferred to Lexington. And listen, this is the world we live in. Like, as we said, Aiden Holloway started at Auburn. Now he's at Alabama. I mean, anything goes right now in college basketball. 1 of 2 for Diabate. LeBaron Philon on the bench with 2 fouls, but still Holloway more than capable. The handoff, Williamson finds Millett. Houston Millett, the grad student, 3 big years at Pepperdine, almost 1,300 points there. And what a great piece off the bench he is for Alabama.
Well, Alabama had burned Kentucky off those fade screens, but Millett was the fade screener and then came off a handoff for that 3. Really well executed.
Aberdeen with a nice shot fake, step in and a chance for 3.
Boy, when you're closing out, you can't just fly by to open up that drive. It was a flyby, and then Houston Millett had to turn around. By the time he turned around, Aberdeen was into his chest. But watch Millett setting the screen, and then he gets a, boy, that was a good screen. And if you're not up to touch, you're giving up a 3. And up to touch, I mean the screener's defender, and I think it was Malachi Marino, needed to be up to touch.
Millett is now 4 for 4 from 3-point range. Alabama's 9 for 20 from 3-point range. Kentucky is 2 for 8.
A zone look right now for Kentucky. They haven't been able to keep Alabama out of the lane.
Holloway looking inside for Williamson, keeps the dribble alive, somehow finds Jemison. Williamson takes a bump, left it short with the left. Malachi Marino the rebound, Kentucky running. Aberdeen in the corner. Oweh with a rebound and a putback.
A great play by Otega Oweh. And Kentucky did a better job of staying with shooters on that last play.
Holloway in and out. Oweh the rebound. Big minutes here late in the first half for Oweh, who's their leading scorer with 11. Diabate a little bit out of control, but he draws a foul.
Well, there was no way that Aiden Holloway was going to be able to draw a charge there. So he was trying to strip the ball away, but he had an arm around Diabate. A terrific kind of Gortat screen there by Malachi Marino to open up a little lane for Diabate.
Kentucky trying to narrow the gap as much as they can before halftime. Largest lead of the game for the Tide was 21. Well, coming up later today, our NFL Week 18 regular season finales. We've got a doubleheader. The Panthers and the Buccaneers. If Carolina wins, they win the South. Tampa Bay wins, they win the South with a win and an Atlanta loss tomorrow. Then the Seahawks and the 49ers for the #1 seed and the NFC West title. A couple of great games with a lot of meaning today and tonight on ESPN. Nick Saban will be watching. Boy, how about, and you were talking about it to me earlier in the day, how about just kind of the feel around with Alabama losing as badly as they did in football? It's basketball season now here in Tuscaloosa, but football season, even though their season is over, is never far away.
Yeah, I think if you're an Alabama football coach or part of the team, listening to talk radio in this area is not a good idea.
The third foul on Philon, by the way.
Boy, Otega Oweh just bullied his way into the lane for that rebound. And did it with quickness, too.
So Philon just picked up his third in the final half minute of the first half. He'll sit. And Oweh now with 13, and they've got it down to 13. When again, a couple of minutes ago, it was 21.
And part of it has been Alabama offensively. They've taken some shots. They weren't bad shots, but I think you want to get a little more going and get into the lane.
Shot clock turned off. 8 seconds remain. Holloway hoist and hits. Holloway with his third 3.5. And that gets Alabama to an even 50, having made 10 threes in 22 tries in the first half, and their largest halftime lead against Kentucky in the last 30 years. They are up by 16 at halftime here in the conference opener for both teams, leading Kentucky 50-34, and again, shooting the lights out as they tend to do. They're outscoring Kentucky from three-point range by 24 points. They've made 8 more threes than the Wildcats have in the first half. Nate Oates is with Chris Budden momentarily. Still talking to the officials. Sorry, Chris, we thought he was ready. Here he goes.
We're good. Hey, Coach, what's impressed you about what your boys have done on the offensive end?
We're moving the ball. We're sharing it. We're getting decent shots. I thought Amari was super active before he went out, getting on the old boards. You know, they've evened it up since then, but we did a pretty good job on the glass early. You know, we had a few careless turnovers, but we've taken care of it late. I mean, we're moving the ball and getting good shots.
On the other end, what's worked defensively to keep Kentucky out of any sort of rhythm?
You know, we're trying to protect the paint. We're for the most part, we've done a good job. We've done a good job keeping them off the old boards. You know, they want to score in the paint. They don't. When they drive, they're looking to score. They're not really looking to move it. We're trying to make them move it, and I think we've done a pretty good job so far.
Thank you, Coach.
They're shooting over 50%. They're shooting 45% from 3, and they've got a 16-point lead at halftime over Kentucky. Aiden Holloway's made 3 threes in the first half. Houston Olette's made 4. Time now to go to the studio for the Jeep Halftime Report with Zubin, Kevin Keats, and Seth Greenberg. You're watching ESPN's Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers. This is the SEC on ESPN. The conference opener for Kentucky and Alabama as we welcome you back to Tuscaloosa. And plain and simple in the first half, Alabama did, Jay, what Alabama does.
They were terrific getting open threes and knocking them down. They made 10 threes in the first half, and Aden Holloway and Houston Millett combined for 7 for 8 from 3. Millett coming off that little handoff after setting the fade screen, and then earlier a couple of fade screen buckets by Holloway, and then Millett. Can't leave a guy that's got the ball at the three-point line, and if you get caught underneath, Aden Holloway's going to make you pay. And Alabama hung on the glass with Kentucky as well, and that's been a point of emphasis, but you can see it's either at the rim or at the three-point line, and a lot of those threes have come from getting the ball in the paint and then kicking it back out and or swinging it. But one of the things that Alabama's going to have to continue to do is send all 5 guys to the defensive glass, because Aiden Sherrill is questionable to return in the second half.
Kentucky down 16. Chris spoke with Mark Pope.
The message to his team is we have to adjust our approach to the way that we view physicality, and it starts on the offensive glass. So we have to do a much better job on the boards to be able to keep up with the pacing of this game and to be able to get some better ball movement.
Chris, thank you. Boy, when your team doesn't have as much physicality as you would like them to have, and they don't shoot the three ball particularly well, a tough way to win basketball games at this level.
And it's so difficult when the floor is so spread for blockouts and blockout responsibilities, especially with so many of these long rebounds.
By the way, one item of business, the foul that was given to LeBaron Philon, well, this is newsy now, at the end of the first half was taken away and was given to Houston Millett. So it was about to say, so Philon's only got 2, but 15 seconds into the second half, now he has officially picked up his 3rd.
Well, with Latrell Wrightsell guarding Otega Oweh, Oweh went immediately into the post on Kentucky's possession. And we'll see if that continues to try to exploit the size difference.
Denzel Aberdeen at the line for Kentucky. Some notable Wildcats were very quiet in the first half. Jaden Quains, who again is coming back from a torn ACL, played 11 minutes, had just 2 points and 2 rebounds. Malachi Marino, who's been really good for Kentucky, especially lately, played 8 minutes and 20 seconds, Jay. Didn't score, only had 1 rebound. They need their big guys to put up bigger numbers than that.
And they need their guards to perform at a higher level. Colin Chandler had a rough first half on both ends of the floor.
And Chandler is their leading three-point shooter and averages just over 9 points per game. Philon finds Holloway. Holloway and Millett both terrific in the first half. Step back. And the box out by Marino to come down with a rebound. So again, Jalen Lowe playing a bunch but didn't start and doesn't start the second half here. Diabate misses a 3. Marino with an offensive board. The drive by Oweh. Again, a lot of dribbling by this Kentucky team. Oweh made something out of a broken play there, but they had to work hard for that too.
And it was a tough shot. You know, a fadeaway turnaround jumper. But for Nate Oates, you know, that's a challenge too. What they don't want to give up are anything in the paint, which they've done overall a pretty good job of keeping Kentucky out of the paint. And they certainly don't want to give up open threes to guys like Chandler.
Aberdeen, his 3rd, he goes to the bench, and that brings Jalen Lowe in very early. And again, they did appear to be a different team at times with Lowe on the court. The offense just flows better when he's out there.
You know, it's just 12 points right now. Lowe's got to be able to play significant minutes in this second half.
Nice drive by Philon to get the lead back to 14.
Well, Philon's got a lot of game.
Lowe setting a screen to free up Chandler. The open man is Oweh, and he'll hit a 3 and to get it down to 11.
And Oweh wide open because Allen had to help out on that drive and then close out from a distance. And Oweh's got a little hitch in that shot, so it takes him a little bit longer to load it up. But still, Allen couldn't get there.
He's a 32% three-point shooter on the season. He's got a game-high 18 points today. Chandler stays in front of Philon. And the wing three will go for Amari Allen.
Allen, there was no dip in that shot. He caught it, kept it right under his chin, and put it up. Alabama doesn't catch ready to shoot. They catch it to shoot it and make you take that shot away. And Allen looked like he tweaked that ankle again.
The Crimson Tide now 11 for 23, 48% from beyond the arc. Oweh from the corner, in and out. And a strong rebound by Bristow, but he's called for a travel.
I think Nate Oates is saying, wait a minute, he was bobbling that ball as he went down.
And Coach Oates making a sub. You can see Philon out, Millette back in. Let's see on the Bristow play. No foul called. It's a travel to give it back to Kentucky. Oweh initiating the contact on the drive there. Gets it back. Inside of Marino. Got a size advantage on Allen, and he pays it off.
Well, he just spun right around Amari Allen. Allen got him off the lane for that catch. What a move by Marino.
Marino, a McDonald's All-American, the Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Kentucky a season ago. He's from Georgetown, Kentucky, and has had some very good moments in his freshman year for the Cats. Holloway waiting for the ball screen, gets the switch. Nice anticipation by Lowe to lead to the turnover.
Tough little pocket pass to be able to corral.
Lowe with a burst of speed, throws up a player and draws a foul.
That's the difference in having Jalen Lowe on the floor. With his speed, can attack in transition, get into the middle of the lane and make something happen. Well, you just kind of sell out trying to get that steal, which is a low percentage play. You just want to keep him out of the lane, make Marino make a shot over you. With 2 hands on the ball handler, that's an automatic call.
And it's number 3 on Millette. So Philon's got 3, Millette's got 3 for Alabama. Bristow out, and Noah Williamson, who gave Alabama some very good minutes in the first half, is back in. As Nate Oates, again, at least for now, is still without Aiden Sherrill. We can see Sherrill is back on the bench, but the last info we got was at halftime, a right knee injury, questionable to return.
And he didn't warm up at halftime.
Meanwhile, Kentucky's got it down to 10. Alabama led by as many as 21 in the first half. Holloway takes a bump, and Lowe will pick up his second.
It was a smart play, just threw his head back after he got that contact. Selling the call a bit. Smart play by Aden Holloway. That little ghost screen fade action has been really difficult for Kentucky to deal with.
Reitzel. Into the corner, Millette, who had a big first half. 5 to shoot. Deep one for Reitzel. And Oweh down with a rebound. Bodies flying underneath.
Yeah, got pushed.
Chandler into traffic. Oweh rises up for a 3 and left it short.
Well, that long rebound means Alabama can run.
The ball movement does appear to be better for Kentucky so far here in the second half. Holloway the kick out to Allen.
Boy, off that drive, Allen's got to get behind quicker so he can get a 3.
And a timeout on the floor. Kentucky trying to make its way back into it. They've got it down to 10.
Timeout on the floor.
Unbelievable. There will be a new champion.
The CFP semifinals coming your way Thursday night, Miami and Ole Miss. And then Friday night, Oregon and Indiana. Again, Indiana ending Alabama's season in resounding fashion a couple of days ago. Nick Saban, no doubt, was tuned into that one. How about the crazy end of the Ole Miss-Georgia game? And lots more excitement coming this coming week. 10-point lead for Alabama. Conference opener for Kentucky and for Alabama as Holloway hits another three. He is now 4 for 5 from 3 on the afternoon. Jalen Lowe misses in transition at the other end. And it's Alabama basketball.
Colin Chandler just a little bit late in trying to switch out. You know, you just have to be quicker to get up in and take away that shot. It's one thing to say it, it's another thing to do it, because Aden Holloway, he is so gifted offensively.
He's got 19 today, 5 for 7 from the floor, 3 assists as well. Millette spinning, draws a couple. Open man is Williamson. The reverse will go.
And this is the best that Noah Williamson has played in an Alabama uniform. He's been outstanding when Aiden Sherrill has been out with that injury.
And you mentioned in the first half the Patriot League Player of the Year a season ago. So he's got some qualifications, average better than 17 a game. Boy, you just have so much trouble keeping a guy like Aden Holloway in front of you.
And that's a lot for any defender, but I think Holloway's eyes are lighting up whenever Chandler's on him. Just a really good shot fake, not the best closeout by Jaden Quaintance, and there's nobody there coming over weak side to challenge Noah Williamson as he got to the other side of the rim.
Williamson some good minutes again. Aiden Sherrill is back on the bench, but questionable to return with a right knee injury. So with Taylor Bol-Bowen, he hasn't played yet today. Got a right ankle situation. They need the size that Williamson is giving them. Aberdeen, long, away the finish.
And that's Kentucky in transition. That's when the Wildcats are at their best, but transition has been few and far between for the Wildcats in this one at Alabama.
Allen driving on low. Quaintance comes over to shut that off. But then he went back to his defender. Allen follows up his miss and had it blocked. A touch for Quaintance. Diabate playing through the boos here at Coleman. The force won't go, but he gets it back and hits the second time.
And that's the difficulty for Alabama. They can be vulnerable at times on the defensive glass to give up offensive rebound baskets. That's where Arizona took advantage of it.
Boy, just way too much space for Amari Allen. Another assist for Holloway.
Boy, Mo Diabate got hung up on another fade screen. I mean, they've given up at least 5 threes on that fade screen action up top.
Now 13 for 27 from three-point range. Allen forces a turnover.
Well, Kentucky had it down to 10, then gave up 5 straight points.
No basket. The whistle blew. A foul called on Aberdeen. That's already 5 team fouls committed by Kentucky here in the second half. And for Aberdeen personally, Jay, it's his 4th.
That's also going to be an issue down the stretch for Alabama. The one thing the Tide cannot do against Kentucky is put the Wildcats on the foul line. That's where Kentucky's had their most success in this game in scoring, is from the free throw line.
Officials trying to get the Alabama bench to sit down as the ball is inbounded and finds Philon. Got a big man on him, and Marino tries to take him, and either Marino or Garrison got a piece of that. Oweh soars to the basket, and on the follow, Garrison is fouled.
I thought that might have actually been basket interference there. But it looked like Garrison, somebody caught a piece of his arm. But that ball looked like it was at or around the cylinder.
And Nate Oates may be thinking the same thing that you're thinking and saying to one of the officials, look at the replay. And it looked like everything kind of happened simultaneously, the tip attempt and the foul. Nate Oates still not happy.
Yeah, I mean, the foul probably negated any action that went after it.
The foul was called on Jemison. And Garrison, one of two.
You keep looking out thinking, where is Kentucky's offense going to come from?
Holloway. Again. What an afternoon for Aden Holloway.
Well, Kentucky's ball screen defense has been rough. That was just a simple step back.
He's got 5 threes and 22 points. Jalen Lowe with a chance for 3.
Lowe got the switch off the ball screen, hesitated, and then went right in the body of Bristow. That's why they need Jalen Lowe on the floor. He's a difference maker with the ball in his hands as point guard.
A timeout on the floor. Aden Holloway doesn't need much space to get that shot off, and he has made 5, count them, 5 threes already in this game. At the other end, Jalen Lowe, again, doing everything he can to keep the Cats in it. Nate Oates in his 7th season as the head coach at Alabama after 4 very successful years in Buffalo. No team has won more conference games in the SEC since he got here than him. They have also won 2 SEC regular season titles, 2 SEC tournament titles. Last year they went to the Elite 8. 2 years ago they went to the Final Four, and they've got aspirations of playing a lot of basketball very deep into March and hopefully April again this season.
Well, Nate Oates is a great basketball coach. Just an outstanding basketball mind that sees the game kind of like John Nash, a beautiful mind. They play differently, and it's a beautiful brand of basketball.
But as you said, who wouldn't want to play this kind of basketball when one of the most important rules is if you're open, take the shot?
Oh, guys that don't want to run.
Williamson open, but he airballs the 3, and Millett was in the air and got the timeout called to retain possession.
That rule has been changed over the last couple of years. It used to be that you couldn't call a timeout when you're jumping out of bounds. Now you can.
So 11:41 to go and another timeout on the floor. The Tide is rolling today, up by 13 and making shots and making the hustle plays as well.
He just wanted the rebound. Noted.
Well, I think just about everybody who follows this sport would agree that it has been a great start to the 25-26 season. Arizona #1 in the rankings, undefeated. What a squad Tommy Lloyd has. How about Dusty May in Michigan? I mean, they've been beating people by 30 or 40 points. And I know we say this a lot, Jay, but what an outstanding, what a phenomenal crop of freshmen this year. You and I will see Cameron Boozer and Michael Brown Jr. Tuesday night Duke at Louisville. Somehow Caleb Wilson, as great as he is in playing at an institution like North Carolina, I almost feel like he's been not talked about enough this year with the kind of year that he's had co-repeated Arizona, A.J. Debonsa, and the list goes on and on.
Yeah, this crop of freshmen is extraordinary, not just at the top, but the depth of it. And breaking news, Aden Holloway just missed a three-point shot. He and Houston Millett have not been able to miss much in this game. I mean, I know Holloway missed one in the first half, but they've been spectacular when they've been open.
3 on Garrison. Holloway came in at 44% of the season from threes, 5 for 7 today. Phylon sneaks inside for a 2. Lowe open and hits the 3. Jalen Lowe now with 15.
But he makes a big difference when he's in the game. One, he gets the ball up court very quickly. There's just a different pace when he's on the floor.
And make it a long 2, so he's got 14. Holloway, great find. Williamson, great patience.
Patience to get Marino off the floor where he could go to the other side of the rim. Williamson has been outstanding in this game.
Again, Sherrell sidelined with a right knee injury suffered in the first half. Williamson giving Alabama big minutes. Lowe, the lefty. Marino, the follow.
Well, they gave up the offensive rebound, but 2 really good closeouts to take away three-point opportunities by this Alabama defense.
Holloway thought he had Jemison for a moment. Now finds Millett.
Good pass.
Williamson. Lefty up and in. Spinning around Jasper Johnson, who was giving up a ton of size.
Boy, you got a 7-footer that's driving closeouts and pivoting with a spin move to the basket. That's big time.
Obviously, they hope Sherrell is okay, but they may have found something today in Williamson. Phylon with the pick and the lay-in. And who's more fired up than Nate Oates? They get everybody healthy, and they haven't been able to do that yet this year. But they get everybody healthy, they're going to make a lot of noise this season.
Alabama's legit. They've played an incredible schedule and fought against it. And they are out fighting Kentucky in this game. Leading scorer, LeBaron Phylon, 23 a game. Big time defensive play, and Nate Oates with his Wimp Sanderson jacket.
An Alabama run. They can beat you from outside. Their defense is leading to offense. They're getting to the rim. And you saw going to break how fired up Nate Oates is. They have played a very, very rugged schedule. Toughest schedule of any ranked team in the nation of the non-conference. But still, starting conference play is a different animal entirely. And they are meeting the challenge here this afternoon.
Just great hands by Alabama, knocking it away from Quaitance and turning defense into offense. They're dominating this game. Those are fouls out top by Williamson. 2 in a row haven't been called.
Oweh can't get into the paint. Cam Williams back in there for Kentucky. Maybe he can give him some three-point shooting as Lowe drives and lays it in. He's got 16.
Boy, Jalen Lowe has been impressive. That lefty point guard, he's a playmaker, 3-level scorer, and can really get downhill in a hurry.
They just hope they can keep him healthy. He poked that ball away. He gets it back. Williams open on the wing. In and out.
And Williams has been shooting it incredibly well of late. You mentioned he had 8 threes against Bellarmine, had 11 points against St. John's.
Allen, what an offensive rebound. Again, the ball movement. Tough shot. Reitzel misses it, and Quaitance down with a rebound. Eight and a half to go here in Tuscaloosa. Low again. Boy, what pace he's got. It won't go for him. And a foul on Kentucky. And again, Williamson mixing it up and making the most of his minutes.
And with that hustle and picking up the foul, Williamson will go to the line for 1 and 1.
14 points on the season entering today. He's got 8 points and 4 rebounds. Very active minutes off the bench here this afternoon.
He only plays about 9 minutes a game and certainly hasn't had the sort of shooting numbers that were expected when he started the season. But I don't think there's much question. Noah Williamson has not only been an impact player in this game with Aiden Sherrill out, but this is the best he's played in an Alabama uniform.
Hopefully the Sherrill knee situation is not too serious. They're also without Taylor Bowen, who rolled his ankle a couple of days ago.
Well, Alabama's just quicker to the ball than Kentucky.
The lob a little bit too high for Aberdeen, and it's back to the tie.
The key point in the game where Kentucky could get back into it, they cut it to 10 and then gave up 2 straight buckets, and all of a sudden it was a 15-point game. And Alabama hasn't been threatened since.
That roar you heard was Williamson going to the bench and getting a huge ovation. Bristow back in. The crowd loving the active minutes by Williamson today. Oweh with another drive. He's got 22.
Well, he was able to just rip and run, grabbing that rebound and taking it the other way, and nobody could stop him to get in front.
Reitzel with Quaintance on him. 10 to shoot. Philon.
Got the switch.
Reitzel for 3. And Chandler the rebound. Quaintance inside with a mismatch. Will go to the line with a chance for 3.
Really good rim run, and Jaden Quaintance knew he had Latrell Reitzel. He just locked him down in the middle of the lane, and a terrific pass to recognize it by Otega Oweh.
So he'll be at the free throw line when we come back. 7:10 to go. Does Kentucky have a run in them to make this one interesting down the stretch? Going into the big guy, they've got it down to 13 with 7:10 to go.
We scrapping, clashes, passion, blitzes, all action. I'm in the trenches, stomping the yard. I came, I saw, I starred, I reigned, I ball hard. Hit it.
Couple of games with major implications. The NFC South is up for grabs in the first one. The NFC West and the top seed in the NFC up for grabs in the second one. Obviously, they remember Bryce Young here in these parts. Heisman Trophy winner in Tuscaloosa back in 2021. Quaintance misses the free throw, so can't complete the three-point play. It's Alabama by 13 with the ball, just over 7 minutes remaining.
It's so tough to get that little pocket pass off that ball screen when Jaden Quaintance is in the game with his length.
Millette is open. Misses the three. Bristow the offensive rebound. Millette comes to get it, but Quaintance comes up with it. Let's go to Chris.
And that's exactly what Mark Pope wanted to see on that last play, reminding his guys to be aggressive, going after the basketball, going up on the boards. And Lowe very positive with his teammates in that timeout, saying we need 3 stops, 3 buckets, and we're back in this.
And Lowe the assist. Cam Williams with 3, down to 10. Alabama, meanwhile, has missed its last 7 threes. As Philon is fouled on the drive.
Kentucky with that drive by Lowe, drawing defenders and then kicking it out to Cam Williams, who has really shot the ball well of late. The transfer for Tulane, and a lot of guys you say, this guy doesn't get screened, he gets over screens. Cam Williams just goes right through him. He'll go right through your chest.
Philon at the line, a guy whose minutes have gone up by about 4 per game from last year, but his scoring has more than doubled. And last year, of course, they had Mark Sears, right, who scored so many points and such a great player for Alabama. But Philon has kind of stepped into that lead role, although Holloway, he can make a claim for being the co-star in the backcourt. They have 2 gifted scorers on the floor most of the time.
Well, Philon's not only doubled his productivity points and assist-wise, but he's plus 10 in his shooting percentages, both overall and from 3.
Under 6 to go. Low. And for the first time in a long time, it's into single digits.
Jalen Lowe is a difference maker for Kentucky. If he gets healthy, he's got to be on the floor more.
As you can see, it was midway in the first half. The last time it was a single-digit lead. Williams the foul.
Jalen Lowe, the transfer for Pittsburgh, just so good with the ball. Gets low, gets around Williamson. Probably even got fouled there. Looked like he got grabbed a little bit by Aiden Holloway as he was going up, but still able to complete the play.
Only once in program history has Kentucky come back from a deficit of 21 or more points. That was 31 against LSU way back in 1994. The largest lead of the game today for the Tide, 21. Even in Alabama's last 2 games, wins over Kennesaw State and Yale, they did not play nearly as well in the second half. And sometimes that'll happen when you get out to a huge lead early. But they were outscored by Kennesaw State in the second half of that game and were played to a 47-47 standstill by Yale in the second half of that game. Low on the drive again, is fouled again. And it'll be Holloway.
Holloway coming in from the weak side on that left-hand drive by Jalen Lowe.
The second on Holloway, 6th on the team.
And this is one thing that Alabama's got to be mindful of. They can't put Kentucky on the foul line. Make them make a tough shot over you.
So not yet in the bonus, not a shooting foul. Aberdeen playing with 4 fouls, inbounds it for UK. Quaintance trying to back down Williamson, and the pass through the hands of Owe and out of bounds. Maybe a missed opportunity right there. And Mark Pope wants a timeout with 5:11 to go.
It looked like Amari Allen might have got hit. I'm not sure whether that was a 30-second.
A 30-second timeout taken by Pope with 5:11 to go. With Alabama leading by 11. What have you learned about these two teams today?
Well, you've learned Alabama, even banged up and injured, which they've been most of the year, and without Aiden Sherrill available for a good part of the latter half of the first half, and then without the second half. Noah Williamson's come in. If Alabama's able to win this game, he's going to be one of the biggest reasons why.
Yeah, and Taylor Bowen hasn't played at all, got an ankle issue, but they've got so much depth. What have you learned about Kentucky? And again, it was a really up and down, interesting non-conference portion of the season for the Wildcats. They had some good moments. They've won 4 in a row coming in. They beat Indiana. They beat St. John's. But against some of the toughest opposition they've had, they have not played well at all. Most notably, that 35-point loss to Gonzaga.
You know, Kentucky needs something or someone to bring all these pieces together. And I feel like Jalen Lowe is that someone that can do it. Yeah, everything runs smoother when he's on the floor. He can not only score, he's an excellent distributor. And, you know, Kentucky's assist rate has not been very high, and certainly not high in this game. And it hadn't been high against the best teams they've played.
They have 9 assists on 24 made field goals. That is a low percentage. In contrast to that, Alabama, 16 assists on 28 made field goals. Philon misses a 3, Lowe the rebound. Keeps the dribble alive, gets inside, and the lefty lays it in with the right to get it down to 9.
Uses the ball screen, then comes back the other way, and Jaden Quaintance was able to get the way at Williamson where he couldn't put any pressure at the rim on that shot.
Lowe has missed 7 games this year and parts of a couple others with that right shoulder injury.
It was a big possession for Alabama, Dan.
Philon behind the back. Up and in. Always slit, and Philon lays it in.
Boy, how about the look away to get Jaden Quaintance to go back to Williamson so LeBaron Philon could lay it in. That was a big-time play by Philon.
Philon's got 15, 13 of them in the second half, and Millett and Alabama have the basketball.
Looked like it just got caught up against the body of Williamson.
Boy, a big sequence the last 30, 40 seconds, those 2 trips. Philon baseline, blocked. Allen comes up with it. Out of bounds, and it will remain Alabama ball. The tied up 11 with 3:37 to go. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Kay, the official partner of couples who love the game. So for Kentucky today, Jalen Lowe, 25 minutes off the bench. He's got 20 points in this game. Again, managing that right shoulder situation. He has been huge for Kentucky, but Aiden Holloway, 5 for 7 from 3 and 22 points to lead the way for Alabama.
Yeah, Holloway's also got 5 assists to go with those 22 points. He's 5 of 7 from 3. But really, the offense for Kentucky has been Otega-Oweh with 22. He's got 6 rebounds. And then Jalen Lowe, who's 8 of 15 from the field. He's got 20 points, 2 rebounds, or excuse me, 2 assists and 2 steals. And with Lowe on the floor, that just gives Kentucky another weapon. But they've been unable to find consistent scoring beyond Oweh and Lowe in this game.
Do you expect, assuming Jalen Lowe can stay healthy, this is who he is. He's a great player. Do you expect him to move into the starting lineup before long for Kentucky?
I do. I think he's the player that's going to bring everything together for Kentucky.
Really the only true point guard they have on the roster.
Agreed.
Deep one for Holloway. I mean, deep one for Aiden Holloway, but he didn't feel that way. That is silly range.
How do you guard that? You got to give him a little bit of space. You're not expecting that. Yeah, we've seen that hedge foul by Williamson. That's the first time it was called. That's right by Montgomery.
I mean, heels on the logo. 6 for 8 from 3. 25 points. Had 26 a few days ago in their last game against Yale.
That's the 15th 3 for Alabama in this game. Kentucky 4. You have to shoot a lot of free throws to make up for that kind of disparity.
One more coming for Lowe. Rebound Millett. Might have gotten poked in the eye.
Really important for Alabama this last 3 minutes. They cannot put Kentucky on the foul line. Make them make a tough shot.
Holloway on the drive this time, and Quainton's got a piece of it. Oweh's pass taken away, but it bounces back to Lowe. Off the leg of Williamson, tied in transition. Holloway over the top, but too high for Williamson. The idea was right, but they just couldn't execute the pass.
It was the right idea. Alabama's got the mentality of they're not going to pull the ball back out and run clock. They're going to step on your neck.
Again, the hedge by Williamson. Again, the help. And again, the turnover.
That was like a defensive back reading the eyes of the passer. And because Kentucky is unable to stretch the floor with three-point shooters, that allows you to creep into the lane as a help defender. The further your man is away from the ball, the more you can help.
And Philon will take the air out of the ball for a while here. Just 2:10 to go. Now he drives, and he's fouled. He was attempting to pass it into the corner. And it'll be the 10th team foul on Kentucky, so it'll be 2 shots coming for LeBaron Philon Jr.
Kentucky's 10th team foul.
Philon with 15 so far today. So he and Holloway came into the game averaging almost 40 points per game of the season, and they're right at 40 at this moment here today as Philon adds another. Well, today on the SEC Network, we have 3 more college basketball games for you. It'll be Ole Miss in Oklahoma at 3:30 Eastern, Mississippi State in Texas, and then Florida at Mizzou to cap it off at 8:30 Eastern tonight.
I know it's been a while, but it's still kind of hard to get used to, you know, Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri in the SEC instead of the Big 8 or the Big 12.
Maybe you and I are showing our age a
little bit older.
You still have to double clutch a little bit sometimes when you talk about certain schools.
Well, I'm still struggling with the Brewers being in the National League.
Inside 2 minutes to go. Low. No. Rebound Holloway.
Well, this has been impressive by Alabama. With Aiden Sherrill injured, to have the terrific performance by Noah Williamson. You know, LeBaron Philon hasn't shot the ball well. He's still 0 of 6 from 3, but he's got 3 steals. And Millette has been spectacular in addition to Holloway.
Yeah, and did it not being at full strength either, something Nate Oates hopes will happen before long to see what they can be. Meanwhile, for Kentucky, this loss will drop them to 9-5. Their next game, they go home for 2. Missouri and then a Mississippi State. Their next 2 games. Alabama's at Vandy Wednesday night, ESPN2, and then home to Texas next weekend. And Jalen Lowe coming out likely for the final time. He certainly did everything he could to give Kentucky a fighting chance here today. Trap in the corner on Holloway, gets out of it, finds Philon. Ahead to Allen, and again, they don't have to rush, they don't have to force, but an easy bounce pass for an easy 2. They do share the ball nicely.
This is the way to start the new year for the Crimson Tide.
Quaintance is fouled on the dunk attempt.
Well, Kentucky with full court pressure, and Alabama beating it with a 3-on-1 against Jaden Quaintance. They took their time, and there wasn't a lot of urgency for Kentucky to get back after they were beaten initially off of their trap in the backcourt.
Jay, Alabama, one of 6 ranked teams in the SEC. They're ranked 14th. Vandy 11, Arkansas 18, Tennessee 19, Florida 22, Georgia 23. Kentucky, the first team on the outside looking in. Is this going to be potentially a wide open league this year?
Yeah, I think so. You know, last year the SEC was historically good. I'd never seen anything like it. I mean, remember you and I were in Nashville for the SEC tournament, calling a game for South Carolina with Colin Murray Boyles, and I think I said at the time, this is the best last place team I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, they were really good, but winning games in last year's SEC was incredibly difficult. I think they proved it in the NCAA tournament. Alabama, an Elite 8 team. Auburn went to the Final Four. Florida won the whole thing. It was ridiculous how good that league was.
Holloway having another career game. He just tied his career high of 26. He had 26 against Yale 5 days ago.
And this is his 6th 20-point game of the season. And this is a guy, they had 0 against Arizona, but put up 26 against UNLV. Had 26 again, he said, against Yale with 5 threes.
1 minute remaining.
Oweh just forcing the issue, can't finish it, and eventually the foul call as the basket goes as well. No basket. Foul before, so the foul on Allen before, and it'll be Cam Williams shooting 2.
How good is Amari Allen, the freshman from Green Bay, Wisconsin? Well, he's so skilled. He's a transition threat, can rebound. He had that ankle injury at first.
And now we're having some discussion. Who was the foul on, and should the basket have counted? And the officials are all conferring, and all the players are pointing around too, trying to give their opinion.
They should point at the better free throw shooter.
They're going to look at it. There's enough discussion and mild disagreement here that they want to make sure they've got this right. I think that Lucas Santos signaled the foul was on number 5, Amari Allen. Well, there was a lot of contact and a lot of shot attempts. It's not here. Nothing's been called yet. The foul was called
on when Quaintance was going up for the stick back.
Right. So no basket. It was definitely before the Oweh putback. So the review was just to see who the foul was on, and it was on Allen right there over the back of Cam Williams. That's the issue. Cam Williams is going to be shooting free throws.
Cam Williams to shoot 2.
Well, not all of the students are back, just being this close to the holiday still, but it's been a great scene here at Coleman Coliseum, and nothing fires up an SEC crowd like Kentucky coming into your building.
Yeah, they are still Kentucky, but this loss is going to put Kentucky now 1-5 against ranked teams. And in those games against ranked teams, Kentucky scoring 71 points a game and shooting only 40% from the three, 24% from three. And today's numbers don't help those.
The only ranked win was over St. John's back on the 20th of December. Pylon drives. And it's out of bounds back to Alabama with just 31.9 seconds remaining.
It's been that kind of day for the Wildcats.
An Alabama team that averages better than 94 points per game on the season. Again, they played a very difficult non-conference schedule. And now Nate Oates using a timeout. They couldn't get the ball in, so he'll draw something up as if this were a one-point game and they wanted to really execute well at the end of the game. Alabama's going to make a lot of noise. They're going to be fun. And I, for one, am very excited to watch that game at Vandy Wednesday night. Learn a lot about Mark Byington's team as well, which is undefeated so far.
Yeah,
this year.
it's going to be a great game. But Alabama, to your earlier point, once they get completely healthy, they're legit. Like, they have some size issues. When Taylor Bull-Bowen didn't play in this game because of an ankle injury he suffered a couple days ago in practice. Yeah, he's got great length. He can rebound. He can shoot it. But he's not big and strong. Like, he doesn't have a lot of bulk. That's really the only issue that Alabama's facing, is when they get against a team like Arizona, like Michigan, is keeping those bigger bodies off the offensive glass.
And again, maybe more news forthcoming about Aiden Sherrill after the game. A right knee injury, left late in the first half, did not return. Reitzel, step back. Rebound, Acquaintance with 15 seconds to go. Alabama will go to 11-3 on the season, 1-0 in the league. Kentucky will drop to 9-5, 0-1 in conference play as they could walk out the final few seconds. 15 made threes and winning the hustle plays all afternoon long. Nate Oates and company have now won 4 in a row against Kentucky. The first time the Alabama program has ever done that against the Kentucky Wildcats. The final score 89-74 Alabama. For Jay Billis, Chris Buttard, and our crew, I'm Dan Shulman saying thanks for watching here in Tuscaloosa. NFL action coming your way. Here's SVP.